We are back with another day, and the news cycle continues as we got news on WrestleMania to come in the next news video, and also the lineup or a preview for tonight's NXT the week before NXT Roadblock on March the 7th. But let's break into the news, and it starts with some AEW news, as AEW has officially offered a contract to independent wrestling standout Ashley D'Amboise, as Ashley D'Amboise was trained in the Nightmare Factory by Cody, QT Marshall, and Billy Gunn, and she apparently has not officially signed the contract just yet, but will likely sign the contract within the next couple of weeks. Ashley is 2 years into her wrestling career and also does provide a little bit of depth to AEW within the women's division. I've said it before and I'll say it again that AEW's women's division needs all the depth they can get, and that AEW should in fact be looking for people to build up, like a Ruby Soho, as somebody that could challenge Jade Cargill, because WWE did a wonderful job of securing depth back for the women's division with their signings last year, and AEW should either be looking for depth or looking to build the division that they have, because you can't count on Jade Cargill to maintain an undefeated streak forever, because what good is an undefeated streak if you never lose? And in my opinion, Jade Cargill should not be undefeated forever. You know, I'm not saying I have a problem with Jade Cargill. I don't. I have a problem with the idea that it doesn't seem like the company has a plan for what they're doing, what to do when Jade Cargill is no longer the champion. Because you should at least, I'm not saying you should have a plan. I mean, like a concrete plan. I'm saying you should at least have an idea of someone that could beat Jade Cargill and become AEW, the TBS champion. Because the last thing you should do is just say, oh no, we'll keep it on Jade Cargill. Because what happens when the fans get tired of seeing Jade Cargill as the champion? And, I know people would say, oh, well, people ain't going to get tired of that. It's like, no, they are. They are going to get tired of that. They're going to get tired of Jade Cargill consistently winning. They're going to get tired of Jade Cargill. And they're going to want somebody to eventually beat her. Because there's a reason why, Jamie Hayter is the premier champion at AEW and not Jade Cargill. I mean, that might just be my opinion, but still. Speaking of the women's division, Vicky Guerrero is officially wrapping up with AEW and will be leaving the company in July. Vicky has been with AEW since 2019 and has worked with a variety of talent since 2019, including Nyla Rose, including Marina Shafir, Andrade, etc. And Vicky has done a wonderful job in her managerial role, and also working with AEW's Heels brand, which is their women's brand. But Vicky is not having her contract renewed, and her contract is set to expire over the summer. I think it is for the best, because I think it is better for AEW to go in a different direction. I also think it's better for Vicky to step away, because I just think at this point, she had her run, especially she had her run with the top of the card, where Nyla Rose was challenging Jade Cargill last year. It didn't really work. It wasn't any fault of Vicky or Nyla. It was just a bad match with, Nyla and Jade Cargill. I think Vicky did a great job in AEW, as best as she could, and frankly, you know, maybe maybe this will open the door for her to go back to WWE. You know, you never know. Maybe this will open the door for her to go back to WWE. Can only hope. Because, in my opinion, if there's anybody that deserves a Hall of Fame induction in WWE that has not gotten that Hall of Fame induction just yet, it is in fact Vicky Guerrero. Vicky 100% deserves a Hall of Fame induction in WWE, and she's not going to get that Hall of Fame induction as a member of AEW. Simple as that. So hopefully, with her walking away from AEW, and though she might not get inducted this year, she could get inducted next year. You know, she could get inducted next year, and, 100% she should get inducted. Because of what she did as general manager, because of what she did with Edge and Dolph Ziggler. In my opinion, Vicky Guerrero is most definitely deserving of a potential Hall of Fame induction in WWE. Now, since we're talking about AEW, I think it's fair to talk about Mark Henry and Jungle Boy's comments on the CM Punk situation. I do believe Mark Henry said something to the effect of, adults are going to fight. It's going to happen. It happens. It's just, basically being a man about it and letting it go. And Jungle Boy said that they didn't argue. Jungle Boy liked the tweet or an Instagram post or whatever the fact is, where he basically just said Punk assaulted somebody. They didn't fight. He didn't just have a fight. Which is true. It is true. But I think the fallout from the brawl out at All Out will be something that we talk about, for the foreseeable future, unfortunately. And it will not go away anytime soon. Punk also did comment on the situation. He did comment on the situation on Instagram when a fan directed a post to Punk about how he should stay retired, and Punk said that he would come back just to spite the fan, and that the fan would more than likely watch, which I completely agree with. But I think that if Punk is still under contract with AEW, if Tony Khan really wants him to come back, then Tony Khan should be a boss and have Punk and the Bucks and Kenny sit down and iron out their issues. And if Hangman's still a part of it, then Hangman should too. But the fact of the matter is, Tony Khan should have did this before All Out. He should have did this before, and he should have did this when Punk did his little escapade at All Out, before the brawl out at All Out. But he didn't. So people are going to have their opinions. My opinion is that if Punk could come back to AEW, he would still be an asset to the company. I know that is an unpopular opinion, but frankly, I don't care. In my opinion, Punk would still be an asset to AEW. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But I agree with both Mark Henry and Jungle Boy that it isn't a basic situation where it was just an argument. But I think Tony Khan should step up and try and get them all in the same room and iron out the differences for the benefit of AEW. Either way, that's not for this news cycle. It was just to talk about what was said, not any progression to a more positive outcome. But we have WrestleMania news to get to in the next news video, so let's get to that in the next video.